Hi, welcome to my review of this amazing fragrance called Tyrannosaurus Rex or T-Rex from Zoologist Perfumes. What I got here is truly a special fragrance, something that you don't really see all that often in modern or vintage perfumery. It's truly something unique. The sad thing, I should say, is the fact that I didn't see a lot of reviews, especially a lot of newer ones for this fragrance before I bought it. And I would say the Fragrantica and Perfumo reviews and basically what's being said about it there doesn't really do it justice, and it may mislead you into thinking that this is something that it actually is not. So let's start. Okay, so I don't know if you know about zoologists, but basically a lot of people know about it. It's a pretty modern brand, and it has a lot of cult following, you could say. A lot of people invest their time and money into buying zoologist fragrances. Just as we speak, they are going through bottle redesign. We'll see how that will impact the fragrances. As you can see, I have the older bottle. T-Rex has already been redesigned when it comes to bottle, and who knows, maybe the fragrance itself has been reformulated. However, this one, I don't know. Even if it is reformulated, like, smells amazing. This one is pure magic. Okay, so I'm reading the Fragrantica Accords now, and I will tell you how I feel about them. So they put it first as fresh, spicy, woody, aromatic, amber. That's like the main accords that the Fragrantica lists, and I heavily disagree with that. To me, this is I would say, either smoky or leathery first, and afterwards the fresh spicy part comes out. But the initial smell, let me just remind myself. Yeah, also I forgot to mention a lot, and I do mean a lot, of animalistic or animalic notes, probably coming from the leather, but there's also a note of civet listed in the base, so that's where it comes from. Okay, so when you first spray it on, it hits you with that really smoky element. The description that people give it, and I heavily agree, is that this smells like the last day of dinosaurs on Earth. So immediately as the asteroid hit the Earth, all the fire, all the smoke, all the burning, and that's how this smells to me. I wouldn't go as far as to say that this smells like blood, because to me it doesn't. But it does have a lot of resinous and a lot of smoky elements the first time you spray it. Also, you can smell pepper, and pepper is a big part of it. So it's really peppery. If you have a smell like black pepper from Comme des Garçons or any other pepper forward fragrance, you will pick up the pepper note immediately. And also fir is listed as a top note. Now, yeah, it does smell like fir or cedar, something along the line of pine, but yeah, those are the opening notes, so that's what you pick up the first. So the smoke, a bit of leather, a bit of animalic, animalic notes, and basically peppery is the top note, the absolute top note that you pick up. The middle notes, as they listed here, are all flowers. So the one that I smell the most would probably be geranium, and there is a prominent note of cade oil, which is listed as a base note. I also do pick it up. But the flower notes, they are smothered by the smoke and the leather and animalic notes. They are there. It's not a flowery perfume, you know. Don't expect something like, I don't know, some Schiffer fragrance from this. It's really not. It's not that, but there is a hint, at least for me, of flowers there. More so the bushes, for example, rather than actual flowers. But the mid is listed as flowery. Then we come to base notes. They are the most prominent ones, and they are the ones that will stay for you during the most of the fragrance lifetime. The most prominent one, of course, is leather. This is a leathery fragrance after all, as I said. I think this is mostly a leathery one, you know, not fresh spicy, but I'll come to that. The woods also are quite prominent, you know. Cedar is listed and it's definitely there, patchouli, some sandalwood also. But there's this interesting note of civet that, let me just, yeah, it's not pissy, you know, it's not fecal, but it's there. I don't know how to describe it better. Like, it's there, you can see it's not something other than animalic notes, but it comes from leather. It's not something that's as I said, fecal or urine like. It's just that leather is a bit rough, so to speak. But the most interesting part of this fragrance comes, say, 2 or 3 hours in the dry down. After, when all the smoke, when all the, you know, heavy leather, when it all dries down, what you're left with is, I would say, a traditional 70s or 80s men's perfume. And that's why I can see, and that's why I can agree to the point that this is a fresh, spicy perfume, because it does smell like those, you know, aromatic, fresh, spicy, pine-forward fragrances of the 70s and 80s that were very prominent with men, you know, Quorum and, I don't know, for example, David of Zeno. It doesn't smell like them, neither of them, but it has that vibe of, you know, 80s and 70s masculine fragrances. And yeah, after it dries down, for me, the fresh spicy element is brought forward, I say, mostly because of the cade oil and because of the cedar, the patchouli. Also some resins are present, but the green aromatic notes do stay. And it's very interesting because it's a weird composition, come to think of it. The heavy notes, the civet, the leather, the smoke, they are the first notes, and what stays, at least for my nose now, maybe you when you smell this, you may think of it completely differently, but for me, it's smoky and leathery first, and in the dry down it becomes fresh spicy. It becomes, as I said, like a, you know, traditional male fragrances of the 80s and 70s, which is not really a common theme in the perfumery, and that's what makes this one truly a special and unique fragrance in my heart. I mean, I have, you can see just the small part of my collection. I have almost 100 of them, and I would say this is one of my, Yeah, one of my favorite. Now, of course, it's not that wearable, and it's not a crowd pleaser. In fact, people will most of the time react negatively to it. As I said, heavy on the smoke. So the opening, it does remind me of, let's say, a City on Fire by Imaginary Authors. It does remind me of that in the opening. Much better opening, in my opinion, than the City of Fire. Much better fragrance also. But it's rough. When you spray it first, you won't get positive reactions, and even you yourself may not like the fragrance at first, but let it dry down. And what I also wanted to say, the sillage, the durability, or the longevity, just phenomenal. So it's truly 5 stars. So projection is beast mode. The atomizer of Zoologist, I'm talking about the older bottles, is quite nice. You can dose it pretty good, and you can avoid overspraying, which is great because, as I said, this is a nuclear bomb of fragrances. Like this thing, this can this can kill smaller creatures easily. And yeah, oh god, this is amazing. Like, it does have some boozy element to it. I mean, it's everything. It's so hard to categorize this, as I said, because of the opening, because the opening is so strong and so impactful. I would say this is smoke fragrance, smoke and leather. Yeah. Then the third one would be Animalic. But, oh god. And guys, this is amazing. This is something you should definitely check out. Okay, so let's see what people compare it to. I tried a City on Fire, and there is that liquid smoke or artificial smoke that a City on Fire and similar perfumes have that I don't like, even though I'm a smoke fragrance lover. I do not like that aspect of smoke. I much prefer the real actual smoke of burning trees, burning logs, not the clearly artificial ones like a City on Fire. But this one is not the City of Fire, and all those, the Naomi Goodsir one, what's it called? I don't even know how to pronounce it. You probably know which one I'm talking about. They almost repulse me. As I said, I love smoke, I love incense, I love frankincense. As you can see, I have 4 Comme des Garçons incense, so I really do love that note. But when it comes to that aspect of smoke fragrances, like a City on Fire, it is too much to me. It's not really something I enjoy. It repulses me in a way, and this one doesn't do that. So the smoke here executed quite well. Leather is fantastic. The animalic notes are... I'm not the biggest animalic lover. I'm sort of getting into them, but as for now, they are not my favorite note, and I can very much tolerate this. In fact, I love the animalics in here. As I said, they are not, for me, they are not too much. I mean, I tried several of more fecal, more urine-like perfumes, and if I had to categorize this, I'd say it gears more towards the urine part, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Yeah. Again, not that prominent, just good enough to give it the soul, to give it the character that perhaps some other, like a City on Fire, don't have. Okay, so we've gone through the similarities with other perfumes? Is there? I'm trying to see if there is some that I missed. Okay, so the notes of this, as I said, is there a leather fragrance I can compare it to? You know, I'm thinking real hard here, but nothing comes to mind. This is really unique. Like, it's often being hyped up because of its strength. Zoologist is a very interesting brand. I mean, you'll see here I have several, and I'll try to do a review on some of them soon. But it's being really hyped up as this more art than a wearable perfume, and I don't think it's. I mean, it's art. Far from it. It's a great art piece. It's, you know, tremendous piece of work. Something that you should definitely test. I mean, needless to say, you need to test this. You don't blind buy this because it can repulse you. I mean, it's just the way it is. Zoologist fragrances are pretty hard in most cases. You know, many people cannot digest them, especially if you are new to perfumery, if you are new to niche. So definitely do test this one. But the point I'm making is you really need to try this. This is a tremendous piece of work. It came out in 2018, so almost 7 years ago. It's, for me, it should be written in the history books of perfume already. It's that good. It's that good. It's that special. It's really a tremendous perfume. But I don't know, based on some reviews, and honestly, I don't know, I want to hear your opinion on this, but I don't like when people sort of hype it up as, you know, blood smelling fragrance, or it smells like death, or it's, you know, I mean, people tend to really be so picturesque about many perfumes when they are not. I mean, they're just perfumes. They have their notes that are, I don't know, unique, used not so often, but it doesn't smell like that. I don't get any blood smell from this also. Yeah. So I guess the point I'm making is it's not that special in that sense, at least. It's not something that smells so, you know, out there, that smells like violence, like murder, like, I mean, the picture I'm getting is the end days of the dinosaurs because of all that smoke, all that leather. But I wouldn't say this smells like burning flesh or anything. And I hope I kind of brought it closer to you. I hope I gave you a more real time and more impactful review. I hope you know, at least to a certain extent, what you're getting with this if you want to try it or buy it, because I try to steer away from the reviews that say, you know, it's the shock value once, the murdered blood, whatnot. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try to do some more. I have decent collection, you know, it could be better, it could be bigger. But yeah, if you're interested in a review, just write your comment, you know, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.